Welcome back to Phoenix Wright. Trials and Tribulations.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. I'm back after being ill.
I believe Iffy actually read this line already, so... No, we don't need it. There we go.
I thought I was going to introduce ourselves before.
Oh, yeah, that's true. My bad.
I'm thinking like, hey, I'm back, guys. And then, like,
I'm the player. I'm Rob. I'm awesome. We have George.
I'm Varys.
Boo!
We have Iffy. And we have Lawrence.
I have returned. After like two times of not being here. For the first time, I have like all 4 people.
I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Whack! Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion.
What is your opinion on the current situation of... That's what I'm excited.
Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern?
Come to notice.
He gets off on it.
Prosecutor Godot, early in this trial you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Oh shit, Sherlock! Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought, Troy.
Oh look, he's learning.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would.
Nani? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident. Who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether?
And who would that be?
It was me.
Dio!
Who was the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing?
It was filled with pearls.
Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty fucked up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
I can't see, read.
Can't see everything? How many fingers am I holding up? Correct, none. Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
Sorry, looks like you're fucking lying. Guilty.
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
So, this lantern, there's something written on it. Oh, why it's written in blood?
Nonsense. This lantern is clean as a whistle.
It's not. It's like ketchup everywhere.
Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can't you? That's right. We went through this once before, during the poisoning case at Très Bien.
A super flashback.
Oh,
This is the apron delightfulness bird was wearing at the time. That's me, Skeletor!
Oh, she'll be back soon. Christ.
Somehow spilled coffee on him.
there's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the blood stain to the court?
But you can catch up.
Oh yeah, the ketchup stain.
What bloodstone could that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The ketchup-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron.
That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain.
He's deaf too.
You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup, because it was red. Also, for the record, he can't make that argument, because it's a completely unrelated case, and that case has not been considered linked to this one.
I think he's trying to... It's not because he's still making case, he's trying to prove the fact that he can't see a certain
Yeah, you
color.
can't use information from another case if it's not directly linked.
I mean, it's backing up a claim that's already being said here.
Yeah, I know, and I'm saying you can't do that.
I don't know.
It's not something you're allowed to do, even if it does support the claim. You can't take evidence from another case. You have to test his eyesight separately.
I mean, just do it right now. It's that bad.
Ha! You're an asshole. In the black and white photos, lyrics could have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
Because you're looking through a red fucking visor, and because literally, when you filter out white, all you get is red, and if you just get red, then you just can't see the red. I mean, it's basic science. You learn this shit in primary school.
Maybe they should have put red, green, blue on his goggles. Maybe that would have helped him see better.
Nah, because then he wouldn't be able to. Well, it would have helped better for lore, I guess, but it wouldn't have been because then you wouldn't be able to see blue, or if you got green.
I said red, green, and blue, all three.
Oh.
He got an A+ in law, but a D- in physics. So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see red writing on the lantern?
No. Apparently.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
He took his head.
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea.
Because he can't see it in his white mug.
There's no such thing as red tea.
There is.
Is there? It is?
Yeah. There are teas that can appear red.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer! But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth.
Going to jail.
Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Denim, also known as Miss Misty Fey.
Stop me if you heard the song before.
Whack. It's hard to believe this may be true, however. Once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
Disquieting.
And it just goes as well as game one, you're fucked.
You should put up a counter every time I fuck up a line.
We should install that.
Jesus Christ, no.
The next thing you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps.
Godot, we recently found out that Godot can't see red, and now he just keeps making a bunch of red jokes.
He sees the humor in it.
That's my line. Come on, how does a little graffiti make me into a killer?
He's got the point. Just because he can't see red doesn't necessarily mean he's the only person who could have missed the writing.
I forgot I have no lines in this part right now. I missed the one.
Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
Objection!
Yes!
I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on, right?
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
The snow? How so?
Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If they want... Oh, shit. Oh. If they wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not just take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't they just take that there? Ah, could it be?
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow, and so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Is it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Mm-hmm.
Not a chance. The torches were all lit. They would have been able to see fine. Wait, what?
What? What's wrong, Rob?
The torches couldn't have been lit.
It seems Mr. Wright is fucking wrong.
He said the torches were all lit. Oh, unless they mean the other torches just around the thing rather than the specific.
Yeah, I think he means the one around the thing.
Okay.
Was it a lamp? The thing that was the thing?
The lantern was one of the things, but I believe that there were other torches around it, possibly.
Because I would have thought that might have been on.
It is.
That once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least.
You could say more.
It twists and turns like a twisty-turny thing. How do you explain this, Mr. Godot?
I was never good at Poppet.
You can only twist it but not
Hold it.
turn it.
Alright, this is mine. Wait just a minute.
Fucking Maya.
What is it, witness?
Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Maya.
Die.
Maya will shouldn't do that. You can't justify to something like that.
Bitch, try me. Why? What do you mean? I may not look it, but I'm... Ah!
You're an idiot.
After the murder happened, it didn't even exist.
She
Oh,
didn't.
wow.
I'm afraid I don't follow this mystic mumbo-jumbo.
Why would it be? We've seen our old man? We established this just a little while ago. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I need to go back
After
to the
that
home.
murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia.
Bitch form.
Oh,
Delia Hawthorne.
THOC, my dude.
that's right.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick,
No.
please listen to me. Maya,
No.
do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice.
I'm gonna have to defend you.
Your Honor, just fucking let her do it. If it means we're gonna have to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Ha! Nicely done, bitch.
Sure, why not? Let's hear her babbles.
Did you say let's hear a baboon?
Let's hear her babbles.
We can hear a baboon too after the court. Please tell us what happened to the inner temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling and my spirit left me, as it were. But that little girl was there at the inner temple, too.
Your Honor, what is the life expectancy of a mandrill?
20 years.
Oh shit, he knew.
Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up.
Who is this Pearlie?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Fay.
So when did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry. But you have a terrible disease. But what
Wait.
you...
But she has COVID-19. Carol, back up!
2 meters.
2 meters, dear.
But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible in this testimony. As testimony.
It's hearsay. What? Come on! Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Heresy is what I'm seeing in this corner.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath.
Ha! The prosecutor has no objection. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot.
Let's just move on to the cross-examination. Vince has no objections. Come on, hurry the fuck up. I have coffee waiting for me at home in the oven.
This is highly unusual, but... Well, Mr. Wrong? I mean, right?
Now wrong. I think wrong was correct.
Let's get this cross-examination started!
Let's get it started.
Yeah, let's get it started in here.
What details do I need to know? She's testifying about Pearlie for some strange
How your
reason.
daughter stuck on the inner temple that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room.
That's when Mr. Godot around in their temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up.
Right.
He cheered her up? That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Goodell.
And there I was thinking that you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Goodell, good with kids.
Ah! Check it out. You're making me blush.
Can you see it though? Can you see yourself blush?
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one.
There's a red and a white background. Oh,
I mean, to be fair, Goodell's more tan, but still. Iffy.
The truth is there aren't that many places. The truth is there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with the fine-toothed combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation my own way. Godot style.
Just drink coffee and do nothing.
I hope that's not like George style. I'm the same way. I like to hand you down.
Wax style.
Oh, Godot style.
I like to hand down my verdicts like I hand down my belt. Sorry, I didn't think of a good one.
Like I hand down my belt.
Or Gappa would have been a better one. But anyway.
I told you just George, just wax style.
Yeah. Anyway, I do it in my own way. Judge style.
Maybe I should ask questions. Phoenix style.
Lame. Godot's investigation.
Godot's investigation. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, right? After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the fucking lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
Whether you were talking shit.
Here it is, Rob. Here it is.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty of the train.
Beauty?
Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste.
Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy?
So from there you headed for your prep room.
Wait a sec, what did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been under the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed at least a Nim.
Yeah, so you can obviously prove it now, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, here we go. So now we can present against this.
The gravy thing.
Yeah, the gravy one, because how was he supposed to know that was this person?
Yeah, he knew it was Misty Faye before he arrived. Objection! Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in that training hall.
Hanging scroll?
But Mr. Godot is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
But this tastes fucking good.
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye.
It wasn't KFC gravy, right?
That sounds awful. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there. Ah, that is the mark of the master, correct? Exactly, so if you know the meaning of the mark...
Then you could guess that the picture was of Misty Faye on there.
Or did he just put the mark there?
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb... Well, actually, I should probably do a Godot impression. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
But the record roll just wanted to show off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Al. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place.
You're pretty sus, Godot.
He's pretty sus. I think it was
Pretty
green.
sus.
I think the judge did it.
The judge is not the imposter.
Damn it, I can't remember my tasks.
Can I just ask you one little thing, Trite?
What is it?
List off all the tasks you were doing while the murder took place.
Well, why were you in medbay?
Where were you in
I was watching you scan.
I was watching the scanners, man. I saw you hippity hopping everywhere.
Why weren't you in the trial the first? Why weren't you in the first trial? I was in medbay. Oh, Jesus.
I thought you meant
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption
that you were in the medbay.
that I knew beforehand that the crime was going to be committed.
But that's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan. Huh?
Nani?
The fuck?
Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan?
Is it?
One letter?
I asked the question.
These are orders from Morgan Fay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a woman would have known that this is happening because of the because of the letter. He might have just found out through the letter.
Yeah, it's possible. All correspondence from prisoners would be
it
checked.
would be from another person, right? So wouldn't it be Misty Fey? Or at least Donham? Because she would have known from just that letter, right?
Nope.
No?
Mr. Wright,
It's another
you are
person.
wrong. At this stage of the game, a mere guess is simply unacceptable.
It's better, sir.
No, 1 sec. Oh, okay. In the end, you were just bluffing, huh? Don't expect any sympathy cards from me, bitch.
But there's
I
only
don't
one
know.
way he could have known about the crime.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been through others. Had to be from someone.
Mr. Wright, I'll give you one last
Unless
chance.
it is the letter, or
Of
actually...
course,
you
Mr.
have to-
Godot knew about the plan. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, we already know this one. We've already seen that. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
On the save.
Oh, sorry. Shift F1. There we go.
Give me evidence, but don't fuck up
Then
this
what is
time.
it? The letter then? The letter then? That's
Also, the
only
instructions
thing-
were written.
So it had to be the fucking letter. But
Okay.
you could have just... Okay.
This crime was
What's the
actually
person, then?
This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future, and these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed.
Unsealed.
Wait, what? Is that actually been listed in the evidence? Oh,
Okay.
opened once before. Okay.
Yeah, that was something like that. I forgot about that.
Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how we knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
You're saying this crafty killer is moi?
You bet I am.
But you just said that the instructions were hid in...
That's right.
Then-
Mr. Godot couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out.
Yes, and when was that?
During a visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping on a visit to the detention center.
Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. To be fair, when you get arrested by the police and you get to invoke your right to make a call, the police will record your conversation.
Order,
Me too.
order.
The Spanish Inquisition are required to give 30 days notice in advance.
Mr. Godot, you're under fire again.
I thought you said you're fired again.
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge, and you are the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder.
I think you're pretty sus, right?
Humans are afraid of the dark,
I'm not.
and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it.
I'm not.
Maybe that's just the fuck up and that my voice in my head.
God, aren't you the exception, not the rule?
Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
I just like it because it's bitter.
I don't like it because it's hot. And
Sorry for always asking, but what the fuck are you talking about?
Put that hole in your nose, Troy.
Talking about big boy stuff.
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, and the killer is in this case, eavesdropped. And on the conversation during a jail visit where he learned of the hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plant, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. And he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness.
That's right.
If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through this kind of trouble to protect her. I sound what you see, I'm certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
liar.
I'm not gonna be.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering what the killer wanted to protect this witness's life. His behavior is still a little too unnatural.
Objection! However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
Right. I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you.
What's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and the Maya... you and the Maya Fey. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably.
It's Gumshoe. Ah.
Me?
There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she's Mia Fey's only sister.
Well, I can count like 5 more.
Holy shit, like Maya Fey.
Mia.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney?
And we'll see you guys next time on Phoenix Wright! Trials and Tribulations.
Little shit about
No.